Steve Jewin, MMA Mania.
Hey, Steve. Jesse Finney, how are you, sir?
I'm great, Mr. Finney. Thank you for the time today. I appreciate the call.
Absolutely. I appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, and happy St. Patrick's Day.
Man, it's perfect, isn't it? Perfect timing. It's a lucky day for everybody.
Absolutely.
With Shamrock Fighting Championships on St. Pat's Day.
Let's do a little background just to kick it off, since you are the CEO of Shamrock. Tell everybody a little bit about that promotion.
Well, a little bit about Shamrock. We've been around for coming up on 18 years. It'll be in July. We started doing, originally started doing kickboxing shows and did some boxing shows, and then obviously 19, I think it was 2001 or 2000, somewhere along those lines, we started promoting mixed martial arts, and since then we haven't stopped, and only continue to get stronger and stronger, man. So more and more shows and more sellouts, and if we're going to do it, we do it right and do it first class. So that's what we're doing right now. Things are going really well.
But you're not just the owner-promoter, you're also a fighter in your own right. You're 5-1 as a pro.
6-1 as a pro, actually. I don't know. Some sites say 5, some say 6, but 6-1 as a pro. I am a former fighter. I'm done. The only place I do all my fighting is at home with the kids, and I end up losing every time there. So no, I'm done fighting. I actually been done for about 3.5 years now. I ended up, man, you know what happened was I was fighting forever, and I realized that it wasn't gonna continue to go, and I had other businesses going. I had just bought Matty Hughes' Hit Squad. I have another gym over in St. Louis at the time. Both of my gyms were 20,000+ square feet with full health clubs as well. And then trying to run the promotion business, things just didn't work out. I mean, I was fighting guys like the names of Josh Neer. And this is what these guys do full time. And I was the last in the totem pole here. I had, shows going. We were doing 20+ shows a year, helping with the Strike Force deals. I was training guys. I was running operations. I had 150+ employees at the time. And the last guy to ever get any time was myself. And that was just for my training. I was trying to compete on a national level, and that just wasn't going to work out for me. With these guys, that was their one and only priority. And, I was 31 years old, I think it was, when I got into MMA. I just thought, you know what? Hey, I was a kickboxer, and I was training a bunch of MMA guys, and they came to me and were like, man, you're an athlete. I played all through high school. I played all three, football, basketball, baseball, went to college on a baseball scholarship. I played sports my whole life, and it's like, you're a really good athlete. Why don't you get into mixed martial arts? And to be quite honest with you, what I told them, I was like, you guys are nuts. I said, you guys are crazy. I'm not gonna do that. And I was training all these MMA guys, and they're like, you gotta get into this. You gotta get into this, because I was training with them. But I had never really wrestled. I wrestled a couple of years in Little League and things like that. And I actually played basketball during wrestling season. So I just said, hey, I'm done with, this, and they talked me into basically doing it, and then I did it for a while, and I just say, listen, I don't want to be the guy on the couch that says, yeah, I wish I would have did that. So I jumped in and I did all right with it, but first and foremost, it wasn't like I was just fascinated with it, to be quite honest with you. I was fascinated with the jiu-jitsu part of it. I was fascinated with the wrestling part of it. I was fascinated how can this become a mainstream sport, and how do you train? At the time I was going to a boxing gym, going to a boxing gym, and then going to a jiu-jitsu gym, and I was like, now all of a sudden it's pretty awesome to see where it's came, where, now you can go to one facility, and I knew it would come to that, where you can do everything under one roof. And that was kind of my goal in this whole thing, was the very end, to say, listen, I would like to open facilities that we could do everything under one roof.
And that seems to be the commonplace now. In fact, once other gyms started doing that, UFC kind of co-opted that and started franchising their own mixed martial arts gyms all around the country after it had already been proven to be a success. Everywhere you go now, you see a UFC gym. In every city they do a show.
Isn't that crazy? I mean, it really is. I mean, but I do know a lot of the UFC gyms, they don't allow any sparring. It's just more for, cardio workout. And you know what? To be quite honest with you, that's where the money is anyway. So they're probably doing the right thing.
It's true. But hey, going back to your own record, you say you couldn't do it full time because you had all these other things on your plate, but 6-1 and every fight other than Josh Neer being a win, that's not too bad considering you were juggling all those other things and still taking fights on the side.
I mean, that was the hardest thing. I mean, I really wish that, I kind of did it backwards if you think about it, man. And I say this, and my wife says it all the time. And, I started, right away with even the kickboxing, I was like, man, there's no money in this. How am I going to, because I got out of college and I was like, okay, well, what am I going to do? And, my stepdad was like, why don't you start kickboxing? So I started kickboxing, but then I realized very quickly there was no money. So I thought, okay, well, I can have a hobby. I might as well go play chess for the money that I was making. And I was just, it was bad. So I started doing, promotions and gyms and everything else. And I was like, I got to figure out a way to make money. So then essentially I started to make money, but then I didn't have my passion for fighting. I was just having my passion. So I kind of did it backwards. I started businesses. I started my own gym when I was 22 years old, man. I started 23. I was 22, 23. So I was like, kind of did it backwards. Most guys, they fight and then they go open a gym, right? Well, I did it backwards. I went and I started to open a gym while I was fighting young because I realized then there was just no money in the fighting aspect of it. And then I started the promotions as well. And the promotions just went through the roof. And, since then I bought the Hit Squad. I sold the Hit Squad. I had a gym in Kansas City. I sold my portion of that in Kansas City. Now I have one location in St. Louis, and that is it for me. And I'm good with that. I don't want any more.
Right. One location and Shamrock, and that keeps you full-time busy.
Shamrock Shamrock, 5 years ago we were doing 6 shows a year, 7 shows a year. And now we're going to do upwards almost 30 shows this year. That is, between the Bellator deal and, we do a big charity event once a year. It's called Guns and Hoses. It's like 18,000 people in St. Louis, and it's the night before Thanksgiving, and it's for boxing for police and firefighters, and it's 100%. We run the mixed martial arts operations part for those guys for the event. We do all that once a year. We do that pro bono for free. It's a nice touch for the city. We're slammed. We're absolutely slammed. But it's, I feel like every day I'm living the dream though, man, to be quite honest with you. Like, I wake up every day and I'm like, man, this isn't a job. This is what I say this all the time, like, listen, you're never outwork us. Hands down. I will say that to anybody. You'll never outwork us because we're working on Sundays and we're working on Monday mornings and we're working hard. And granted, sometimes it's really tough. I'm not gonna lie. But I really love what I do every single day. I love it. Every day I strive to be better. And, I don't know, man. I mean, it's just, I don't know if Mike forged that email that I sent, but I jotted that together just really quick.
Right.
But, my father was a carpenter and he had to go to California to find work, to work. And, I realized young that I was like, man, that is not what I'm going to do. There's no way. That's real work. What I do, I get to have fun every day. Like, my dad would go in coveralls and, go walk out the door. And I swear to you, I had this conversation with somebody the other day that said, man, what drives you? I said, man, what drives me is fear of failure. I mean, it really because I see these people that, they fail. I've been poor. I've been there. I fear to go back there. I don't want to go back there ever. And, it's just, and to be better, man. If I can help in better people's lives while I get to do what I'm doing, come on, man. Does it really get any better than that? I mean, I'm living a dream, man. I mean, and people say, you have a, really good outlook. You have a good outlook, I'm like, man, that's no bullshit. I'm not bullshitting. I mean, I'm not just saying this to say the right thing. This is my outlook in life. I love what I do. I'm happy. I got a good family. I got 2 kids and 2 healthy kids, and, they're 4 and 2 pretty much. And, I love what I do every day, man. It's a dream come true.
Yeah, you're getting to live the dream and have a lot of fun and do what you love. And you've already alluded to it, and this is something I was going to ask you about, is you also get to make deals and make things happen behind the scenes as well, because by all accounts, you're the man who made Kimbo Slice and Ken Shamrock happen. So tell me a little bit about how that deal got done.
Well, first and foremost, I didn't make Shamrock and Kimbo happen. I happened to provide the city for these guys to make it happen. Yeah, I mean, Scott and I, he's been a mentor to me for many years on the promotional side of things, even whenever, he was not, even doing any promotions. We've always stayed in touch and been friends, like he came to our 15-year anniversary show and, paid his own way. And I mean, we're friends outside of fighting, and he's mentored me along the way for many years.
And of course, you fought on 2 Strikeforce shows, so.
You know what? We were friends, but we became good friends after the shows. Really, I mean, realistically, because I knew Scott, but I didn't know him that well. Mm-hmm. But after we probably became better friends after Strikeforce was sold than during the shows. I mean, like, 'cause he came to us and asked me to fight for him and wanted to bring a show to St. Louis and this and that, and I was like, yeah, that's just great, let's do it. But then as we worked together, we became, good friends. And he's mentored me, for many years now, and, I'm pretty lucky to have that. But he also, I mean, I went to California a couple times right whenever, he went to work for Bellator. I knew that was going on, probably a month or so before he took the job there. And, I went out there when he first took over, and, he's asked me many times to move to California, but I'm not moving anywhere. So yeah, we started with, I knew that whenever he got the deal with Bellator, we were going to start doing some shows together right away. I mean, he shot me a text and said, let's do this. This is where I'm going. Are you interested? And I said, absolutely. Let's see what we can shake out. So we obviously did 3 Strikeforce events together in St. Louis. We did 1 in Kansas City together. And now with Bellator, this is going to be our first big show with them. And, we look to do some other, bigger events along the way. So I think that it's going to be, the thing is the Kimbo and Ken, is going to be an interesting fight, but it's going to draw huge eyeballs. But I also, whenever they get to release the other fights on the main card, and we get to release, I should say, and in the undercard as well, these are going to be awesome fights. It's not just going to be about Kimbo and Ken, because these other guys, the fights are going to be incredible fights themselves. And I think, the Midwest, supports it. We're going to have a lot of shows to come.
You have downplayed it a little bit, so I'm just going to quote from the email Mike sent me, if that's okay. He said, and I quote, Jesse single-handedly got Kimbo versus Shamrock approved in the state of Missouri. So apparently you at least had some role with, like, the regulatory commission of getting them to license the fight.
Well, I don't really want to go on record and say that. I definitely helped. You can say that. I got the approval. I helped, with the commission. I did definitely, I have a good relationship with the commission. I mean, we do 20 some shows a year. I asked them what it would take. And they said, this is what it's going to take is, we're going to do all the extra medicals and, I said, okay, well, if they pass the extra medicals, will there be a problem? And they said no, as long as they pass the medicals, we can't turn them down to fight, because you understand something. Kimbo just fought in Missouri, in a pro boxing match. So it wasn't like, he just fought a pro boxing, I guess, 2 years ago, right, against Brian Green. So he just fought here. So I think that, Viacom and Bellator is going to do the right things, and no matter what state they go to, they're going to have to go to all the other medicals. And just sounds simple that they don't want to get in trouble either, right? So, that's all I can really say on that, man. I don't want to the bottom line is I don't want to take credit. I don't want to take anybody's credit. I never have and I never will, to be quite honest with you. I've always been kind of the quiet guy behind the scenes, to be quite honest with you.
Oh, that's perfectly
Mike,
fair.
Yeah, and Mike's always said, Justin, you need to take more credit. And this is throughout all the years. All these guys have said that. But, you know what, that's really not necessarily who I am. And I believe in surrounding yourself with, a group of good people instead of just, trying to be an individual. And that's why, the spotlight's great for me, but, I've had enough spotlight in my day, as far as, fighting and, everything else. Hey, listen, I think that if I can help spread the spotlight, I don't have to be the front and center of every attention. I feel like that, ultimately it's about the fighters, and ultimately if I can provide a great venue for these guys, that's awesome. I'm sitting here talking to you on St. Patrick's Day, and we have a show on Saturday night, 100% sold out in St. Louis, over 21, it's 21 and overcrowded. You know what? Like, for me, like, you won't even see me the night of the show because I feel like my job is done for these guys. I provided the platform for them. These guys have, helped support the show. We have sold it out. And these guys get a chance to go perform and have a great time. And now for us, we're just going to try to tweak it and make it nicer and cleaner for these guys and be more professional.
All right, well, I'll come back to something more about the Bellator show in just a minute, but since
Sure.
you mentioned the show on Saturday, tell me the main event, tell our listeners the main event, and I know you said it's 100% sold out, but maybe people could still walk up for tickets. If so, let them know how.
Well, the show Saturday night, it's a kid named Jordan Howard against Ray Grindstaff. It's for a Bellator contract. The winner will receive a Bellator 3-fight contract at Bellator. And these guys, some of these guys want to go to the UFC, so they're not obligated to go to Bellator. If they want to go to Bellator, they have the option right there. If they want to go to the UFC, they don't have to sign with us right there on the spot. If they want to stay with Shamrock and continue to improve their career, and we just struck a deal with Comcast Sports to be on national TV, I think that will be a launching pad for a lot of these guys, and hopefully, we look to be a national brand someday as well. And I think that if we continue to do what we're doing, we're going to. I think that as far as tickets go, they're standing room only tickets. I mean, to be quite honest with you, they probably won't even be able to walk up and get them on the night of. There's less than 50 standing room only tickets, and I think those will probably go to the air tomorrow. So I appreciate the plug with everything, but it's man. You know what? It's teamwork. I mean, it comes down to the fighters and my staff and, everybody else. So I think that we can, continue to do what we're doing, where it's only going to get better from here on out.
One thing that I've seen come up over and over again when I've read articles about Shamrock and read articles about you is that you cater to high-class clientele. I want to get you to elucidate on that. When you say you cater to the high-end clientele, what does that mean?
Well, I wouldn't say that. I mean, our cheapest ticket on like our standing room only ticket on Saturday night is $45. That's the stand. I don't know how we've kind of landed into this, but I mean, our tickets are extremely expensive. I mean, our tickets go from $175 to $125 to $75, and then there's limited amount of $50 seats. So, I've always believed in quality over quantity. I feel like if you're gonna give the $15 to $20 ticket, that's the type of clientele you're gonna get, and you're gonna have problems. And I'm not saying that in a negative way because, it's just anybody can, rummage up the $20. I feel like, you know what, I would rather sell 800 tickets, 900 tickets, 2,000, than sell 2,000 tickets at $10. And I feel like you're gonna run into problems that way. And we've kind of stuck to that model for 15 years. I mean, we've always been a pretty high ticket item. But I feel like that, with all the glitz and the glam that we do for everybody, I think that the people appreciate that. And we really don't get a lot of riffraff, knock on wood. For some reason, we've done private events for the Ritz-Carlton, the Shriners, we do black tie events for the Shriners, black tie events for the Ritz-Carlton. We have a show in St. Louis at the Lumiere Casino that right now, and they're attached to the Four Seasons. They're probably going to move us over to the Four Seasons, just because of the clientele that we're attracting. We try to make it a nice event. I mean, we used to do a dress code, and we don't even really do a dress code anymore because I feel like people already know what to expect when they come to the events. I don't know how we've kind of fell into that, to be quite honest with you, but it's been a thing where, if you're going to go to a nice nightclub, you know how to act, right? And if you're going to go to the local bar, and listen, I've been to the local bar, so I'm not knocking the local bar. You can get a $2 beer, right? But if you're going to go to a nice nightclub, you're going to pay $4 for that. And I feel like, with us, people realize they're going to spend $40 instead of $20. I feel like they're going to get their money's worth.
Yeah, it's what it's been a proven formula for concert promoters as well. You charge $20 a ticket, you can sell a lot of tickets, but you charge $50 a ticket, you'll actually sell just as many, if not more, because people will realize it's a destination event and it's a classy event, and it's something you can impress your date with. Like, hey, look, I spent $50 on tickets instead of, we're going to the bar to see a show for $10.
Absolutely, and you know what? I mean, and ultimately, this is a destination. This is where 1,800 people will be on Saturday night, and every one of them will be over the age of 21. We only, and that's tough. I mean, I will tell you that. To sell that many tickets to an over 21 crowd, that is tough. I mean, if we were an all ages event, we could probably sell 5,000 tickets. I really believe that. But we've stuck to that 21 and over because I feel like the people that are, 25 to 55, they appreciate that. They make it an evening. They don't bring their kids. They make it an evening for themselves. They don't just say, you know what, I'm going to bring the family. We're going to go to this place. This is a place that, there's a lot of who's who in St. Louis that will be there. And, we continue to do that. Now, listen, we do it in Kansas City. We've only been in that market for 6 shows now, and our 6th show we sold out. It was 1,400 people, sold out. So I think it's going to continue to go there, and we're going to probably expand into another market here pretty soon, in 2015.
Well, hey, come down the road to Omaha. It's only a few more hours from Kansas City. We'd love to have a Shamrock show here.
We've had actually a lot of people talk about Omaha, to be quite honest with you. We just had a kid, I shouldn't say kid, but a guy fight, for a Bellator contract, last week, the week before in Kansas City, Marcus Sursa. He fought, Kelvin Tiller. He didn't do too well. I mean, he did good, but he lost in the second round. But he was from Omaha. Seems to be a lot of support up in Omaha. We've probably had 5 to 7 people reach out to us about bringing their show to Omaha. So that's definitely not off our radar. That's for sure.
Yeah, well, there's definitely a very strong fight scene here,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that, it's a great market. It is a great market. I think that, long term, I think that could be definitely an option for us. And I know there's some casinos up there as well, so that's a good thing.
I want to circle back now to Ken Shamrock and Kimbo Slice because, as you said yourself, the real challenge there was maybe some additional drug testing, additional screening, additional blood work. It is an unusual fight with Ken being 51 years old and Kimbo having the reputation, even though he's fought in MMA, he's got that street fighter reputation. So it doesn't seem to me like the kind of fight just anybody could put together. So Scott Coker and you and Bellator have really done a magic job in getting that fight to be approved for a big super fight.
Well, thank you. I think that, it's definitely hasn't been easy, but I mean, Bellator had to sign the guys, not me. So they get the credit for the signing of the guys. I mean, I definitely helped to get it with, in the state of Missouri, scored away, but also the help of Corey Schaefer, who does the rules and regulations for Bellator. He did a great job as well. And at the end of the day, I mean, you could ask, 10 people, and 10 people are going to tell you that Kimbo's going to knock him out. Then you got 10 other people that say, no, he's going to knee bar him or heel hook him, one of the two. So I think that, no matter what, you're going to tune in. I know I would. It's going to be, and I sit here today and people ask me, like, what's your opinion on it? And my opinion is, I really don't know. I think it's going to go one of two ways. Either Ken's probably going to heel hook him or going to knee bar him, or I do think Kimbo's going to end up knocking him out. It's going to be one of the two.
There's a third possibility too, is maybe Ken wants to show at 51 he's still got hand speed.
Yeah, maybe Ken thinks that he's good. If 51 going to do that, but
if everybody expects him to go for the legs, then maybe that's just the way to fool everybody and get it standing. But sorry, go ahead.
Hey, you know what? Maybe, I've been wrong many times. I can tell you that. But hey, we all had those days, right?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be fun. I mean, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun. And yes, I'm excited for the Kimbo and I'm excited for the Shamrock, but I also tell you, I'm really excited for the other fights that are going to be going on. And I think those are going to be coming out here pretty soon. It's going to, I don't know, man. I mean, I wish that I had more that I could release right now this second, but the other fights are going to be awesome. And I think that what I think is so neat about this is we get a chance to bring everybody in because we're going to have millions and millions of eyeballs to watch Ken Shamrock and Kimbo Slice. But I think other stars are going to be created at the same time.
Right. I'm sure they're going to stack up that televised card for Spike TV. And then, of course, on the preliminaries, which will air on Spike.com and, stream all around the world, you'll probably have a lot of fighters that are Shamrock veterans and local St. Louis fighters that will get their chance to shine too.
No, absolutely. And I know we're trying to build some stars here for TV as well. And I think that, there's going to be a lot of them. I know that, it looks like, we just signed a kid, named Stephen Mann, who's 10-1. He's out of Iowa that could possibly be a superstar in the making. He's going to be a good one for the undercard. That might not be he might be on the main card. I mean, there's a lot of really hot talent coming out of St. Louis right now. It really kind of, with Strikeforce signing it like, the Tyron Woodleys in the past and the Michael Chandlers in the past and, the Adam Sella for the UFC and Matt Ricehouse with the Strikeforce, and the talent pool kind of got gobbled up here for a little bit. And now we're lucky enough that right now we have some young hot prospects that, they're coming out of the Shamrock organization that we're definitely going to put on, Bellator. And I think that, a lot of these guys want more fights. A lot of these guys, are really excited about Bellator to be on a big stage, fighting the Scott Trade Center, put 10,000 people in this place. I mean, it's going to be rocking. So, I mean, you're going to see a lot of young talent coming out of here. I mean, if you look at the talent we put on the Strikeforce in the past, I mean, we had Justin Lawrence on there, we had Michael Chandler on there in the past. These guys were all on the undercards, right? We had, what's the guy's name? He's in the UFC right now. Pat Cummings, Tyron Woodley. I mean, these are a lot of guys. Lance Benoist, Matt Ricehouse. I mean, the list goes on of guys that we had on the undercard that we discovered here through Shamrock that we actually said, hey, listen, we think these guys, could possibly go on to the national TV stages. And, hopefully Shamrock will be there someday that we can keep all of our own guys and, we can continue to build our own national brand. But it's just going to take time. And, I always believe in this is slow and steady wins the race, man. Slow and steady wins the race. We're not going to go out and we're not going to be the ISLs and, or other organizations that I don't want to mention names, but organizations right now that are out there buying their time on TV and, losing their butt. And, they're doing this because they think they can go buy all these UFC, ex-UFC fighters, and all of a sudden they're in 3 to 5 years, they're out of business. So I don't believe in that. I believe in slow and steady wins the race, and we'll continue to do what we're doing. And hopefully we're going to blow up Bellator here in St. Louis on June 20th.
Yeah, and do you feel like actually it comes full circle then? Because the Scott Trade Center held the Strikeforce shows, the Scott Trade Center held the Bellator shows, Scott Coker was the president of Strikeforce, now he's the president of Bellator. It just feels like there's a big synchronicity to the whole thing.
Oh, absolutely. There definitely is. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I mean, and, I think it's a pretty neat deal. And, Scott has, mentored me along the way at many levels. And, it's kind of crazy how this all comes full circle because, from the fighting to the promotions to all the guys I get a chance to go and see, like, this kid Justin Lawrence, who's with the RFA right at the moment, this is a kid that fought for Shamrock, when he was 7 years old, and I'm really dating myself here, but actually I take it back, he was 6 years old. He was on the Ultimate Fighter, the kid's a super talent. And, now all of a sudden, he's, been in the UFC, he's fought in Strikeforce, his kid's a star, and now, we get to come back and have it at the Scott Trade Center, and, now we got Kimbo Slice and Ken Shamrock, and it's Shamrock Fighting Championships. It's helping bring this here. So it's crazy. If I've had it one time, I've had 1,000 times people ask me, there's Ken Shamrock involved with Shamrock Promotions? And like, no, Well, how did that come up? Well, you know, I didn't even know who Ken Shamrock was in 1997, to be quite honest with you. You know, we just started Shamrock Promotions because I'm Irish. And we went from there. A friend of mine said, you need to do Shamrock because, you know, my whole family's got Shamrocks everywhere. And, it just, it's kind of crazy how it all came up, and now all of a sudden we're going to have Ken Shamrock fighting here. So it's pretty neat. And I get to talk to you on St. Patrick's Day, so even better.
Yeah, that's perfect. Well, I don't want to keep you any longer on St. Patrick's Day. I'm sure you'd like to go have some corned beef and cabbage somewhere. So, I'll just let you get in any closing plugs, any things you want to mention, any sponsorships or anything that's, you know, Shamrock related. You can mention it right now.
Man, I just appreciate everybody's support. Continue to please support us. Get the word out. Get us, keep tweeting. If I knew how to use Twitter, I would tweet more, but I don't. I'm going to learn that here pretty soon. I'm embarrassed to admit that. Just keep the word out there about Shamrock Fighting Championships. We've been getting a lot of love social media wise, a lot of websites. We just signed with Comcast Sports, so you're going to see a lot of Shamrock Fighting Championships on Comcast. You know, I just think, you know, keep the buzz out there, get us some more TV recognition, and, you know, we look for bigger and better things in 2015. Keep going, and, you know, get out and support your local shows as well. I say to people all the time, hey, listen, if you're a promoter out there, just do it right. Don't just throw these half-ass shows together. Excuse my French, but I'm very passionate about that. If you're going to do shows, do them right, because you know what? You never know who the one person is that walks in and sees an MMA show, and they're going to remember that forever. They're not going to remember the name of the organization that did it right at the time. So if you're going to do it right.
Well, that's a great note to end it on. If you're going to do it right. And Shamrock definitely does it right. So, Mr. Finney, thank you so much for the interview today. Appreciate it. I hope we'll be talking again in the future.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.